Hey folks, this is Wishful Deal here, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to something that's gonna be different that I don't think I've ever even done in my 12, 13 years of being on YouTube here, but I figured it would be something a little fun to go ahead and, do for you folks. What we got here is a best fast food slash fast casual restaurants tier list maker. Now, I'm sure you folks have seen these everywhere before in the past, but I figured to go ahead and do something a bit different here by doing a tier list and showcasing my opinion based on different fast food restaurants. Just for something a little different and to help spice up the channel a bit more so it's not just so samey and everything. I also got some music in the background, so if you folks are curious on what that is, it's some fan-made version of All You Want to Do Is Go Back There by The Caretaker. So yeah, I'll have the link to the song down in the description below, along with this tier list here, so if you folks want to make your own fast food tier list or whatever, you can go ahead and do that, if you want or whatever. But I figured to add at least some music to this, so it's not just silent or whatever, but just a little something. So anyway, so we got the tiers as we follow. I'm sure this is pretty self-explanatory. Well, you rate the best at the highest and the worst at the bottom, or if you never personally had it. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and see what options we got over here. And first up is A&W. A&W. Honestly, it's pretty alright. It's fine. Not the greatest, not the best, but they're personally just okay, honestly. They're pretty alright. I do like the options that they have, though. Like a bunch of stuff. They have, like, freaking hot dogs and shit. They're like one of the few fast food places I know of, besides, that Winner place. I'm pretty sure it's down here, too, somewhere. But we'll get to that later, if it pops up or whatever, something with a W. But yeah, anyway, this restaurant overall, it's pretty alright, personally. It's fine. I could really give or take on it. I've never had the burgers are mainly okay. I've never had their shakes or whatever. The root beer is pretty decent. But yeah, that's all I gotta say for A&W. Arby's. They have the meats. It's honestly alright, too. It's fine. The only thing that I like from Arby's is, I mainly get there is their, roast, yeah, their roast beef sandwiches, which is simple, and that's really basically it, other than the curly fries. But other than that, I don't really have any other reason to really do Arby's. The white cheddar mac and cheese is it's a pretty good banger, though. But yeah, Arby's, it's overall fine. It's okay. I would choose A&W over Arby's. And I'm not going to have it at the F tier because it's not the absolute worst, okay? It's the second to closest, but not absolutely there. Burger Fresh or whatever, Mexican Grill. I've never had you before, so I'm going to put you at never had. Same with Blimpie. I've never had Blimpie. I do not know some of these restaurants. A lot of these I do know as well, but never have even been to, so I'm only going based off of what I've actually had. Bunjali's or whatever the hell. I've never had you. Boston Market. I've never had you either. But yeah, I'm actually kind of curious. I'm only going off of most likely Western regions too, because I've never been to the eastern side of the United States. Burger King. I'm sorry, Burger King, but you have to go to the very damn bottom. I'm sorry. I've never been a huge fan of Burger King. You know, I never liked Burger King personally. It's just depressing. I went there last time, like 2 weeks ago or whatever, with a friend of mine, my one-on-one person or whatever, and it was just sad. I was kind of contemplating, and I figured to go ahead and go there just to try it, just to see what it's like, and yeah. I've never been a huge fan of Burger King. I've never liked it. My dad loves it for some reason. He thinks it's great, and yeah, I guess you could say that the burgers are actually, quote, grilled, but honestly, it just makes me think of McDonald's. Every time I think of Burger King, I just think it's a shitty knockoff version of Mickey D's, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, that's just me. That's what I always thought of, you know, and I've never been... I just can't do Burger King. It's whatever. I don't like Burger King. I just can't do it. And not because of they also added the stupid ass AI helmet thing, whatever, or speaker or some crap of if you're being nice enough to the customers or whatever. I don't know. There's not even much options in Burger King as well either. I mean, kind of go figure, but like, I just think of just McDonald's, you know? Hell, even Arby's compared to frickin' BK. And if I have to go there, and if I'm really craving a burger, I will bite the bullet and say, go ahead, let's do Burger King. But other than that, I will majorly choose somewhere else, personally, because I just can't do Burger King. I just can't do it anymore. It's just too depressing. It's not even that great, personally, but that's my opinion. Raising Cane's. I keep saying Rising Cane's or whatever. Wait, the chicken tender place. These guys are pretty damn good. Honestly, for just a simple value that they have with just chicken tenders, fries, and a coleslaw, you know, and of course the toast bread. I don't go there too much because there's not really much to get, honestly. But you know, they're not pretty bad. You know, they're pretty all right. It's not something I would go to every day or go out of my way for it. But you know, they're pretty decent. I really like them. At least they serve high quality, good food. You know, and that's better in my book than having a billion options and having it all be complete utter shit. Carl's Jr. or the twin, or whatever, I can't think of the name. There's like 3 different versions of the star guy, whatever. Honestly, they're pretty okay, personally. I've been there like a few times in my life, but honestly, they're not as bad, you know. They could be worse, but they're pretty okay. You know, not the greatest, not the best, but they're pretty alright. I would definitely choose this, honestly, over fucking Burger King, personally, because I've been to Burger King, and I don't like Burger King. But yeah, with Carl's Jr., there's been some surprises, honestly. I think last year I went there with my dad one time just to kind of try it again. I had this breakfast burger, and it was pretty damn decent. You know, I liked it. Not the greatest, but, you know, not bad either. So, you know, kudos to Carl's Jr. You're not the best, but you're definitely nowhere near the worst. Checkers, I don't think I've ever had, honestly. Chick-fil-A. Okay, I'm gonna throw a hot take personally, but I think Chick-fil-A, it is overrated. Like, don't get me wrong, the food's good, honestly. The waffle fries are great, you know, the milkshakes, everything's great though. But it's not the culture golden tier standard that everyone says it is. And honestly, and this is the honestly big truth of like Chick-fil-A compared to other chicken places personally, is that I just don't go there too much because there's always like 20, 30 damn folks who are wanting their chicken, honestly. And I get it, the chicken's good and all, but that's my biggest takeaway with this, is that it's not like I mean, it is good, but it's not like the best chicken, honestly. Because every time I think of chicken or I crave chicken, I just think of Popeyes personally, which is kind of the same, honestly. And yeah, the food's not bad, honestly. You know, be a different story if the food was bad, but the food, it's honestly, it's fine. You know, it is pretty good, but it's just with the crowds and how much everyone just, you know, I'm not saying like everyone loving it, whatever, but like that's my biggest takeaway is that every time I go there, I feel like I'm going to a freaking party house or I'm going to a culture concert, whatever, over a chicken sandwich, you know, and honestly, it just makes me want to choose other options personally because I don't want to wait for like freaking an hour just to place my damn order, you know, I'm gonna go somewhere else personally. And besides, I think it's overrated. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's a little overrated personally. Because unless if I really wanted to go there just for the waffle fries, you know, that's really it. Other than maybe the mac and cheese, but Popeyes has the same damn thing, you know, and almost no one goes there. So yeah, Chick-fil-A, you're not bad, but the amount of folks that come in, it's just... and the amount of crowds, like, every time to go there and everything, it just makes me want to turn off, personally. You know, with the long waits and everything and all of the noise, it's just too much. And, again, the food's not bad, it's just overrated, you know, okay. It's good, but it's not the freaking best. It didn't make me grow taller or some shit like that. So, yeah, Chick-fil-A, you're good, just... people just need to tone it the frig down with that shit, okay? Alright. Chipotle. I've had you once, and you were pretty good. I like Chipotle. I like the ingredients. Chipotle, it was pretty damn good. I went there, like, once, and, you know, I liked it. One thing that really does bug me, and I've seen this around before, and I'm only pointing this out because we're at Chipotle now, but, like, how with folks will, like, record themselves and how they would make the workers give, like, ridiculous portions of meat or whatever. I just did the regular basic of, I think I had, like, a ground beef, no, it was a chicken burrito. It was a chicken burrito with rice and, blah, 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 or some shit, whatever. I just had, you know, no extra portions or anything like that. And it was a pretty good size. You know, it was good size. I don't know why there's some folks who are just like, more, you know, just more meat and stuff. And plus, that's just kind of diminishing and rude anyway to do that anyway. You know, but yeah, Chipotle, you're not so bad. I think I'll see you around, you know, again at some point. I don't go there too much, but, you know, not bad. Not bad. Churches. Yes, Church's Chicken. I've never heard of you. Never been there. Cookout. Never heard. Never been there. Don't even know. Culver's. They're alright. Honestly, you know, the food's good. I definitely like the unique vibe they have of everything being blue. And the ice cream, it is great, but they're personally okay. I'm not a fan of the smash patties, personally. I've never really liked the edge patties being all crunchy and stuff. They're not bad, you know. Culver's is nowhere near bad. In fact, Culver's is pretty great, but I don't know, Culver's, they're pretty alright. You know, I like them. The food's great and everything, but it's not something I would go out of my way, personally. You know, there's another restaurant that's called Nilsson's that's similar to Culver's, and maybe it's just a preference thing, so I prefer that place over Culver's, and they have ice cream as well and everything, but yeah. Culver's is not bad, but maybe it's just a personal preference thing, but at least the food's pretty damn good, so I would always give a plus on that. Del Taco, hell yeah. Del Taco. I freaking love Del Taco. Del Taco is great. Every time, well, not every time, there's like been like once or twice where we've had kind of a sad experience there, or a bad experience. But the one by my house, every time I go there, I love Del Taco. I can always be down for Del Taco personally. The food's always great, you know. The vibe, I could give or take on it, but the freshness of food, it's super damn great. It's one of the few fast food places that is like actually, quote, actually fresh. And yeah, I really like Del Taco. I love the fries that they have too. It just has a unique theme to it, and I can always be down for Del Taco, you know. And again, it does vary on, you know, location with any of these, honestly. But, like, with Del Taco, I've had, like, 1 to 2 bad experiences. But other than that, they're pretty spot on. I can get down with freaking Del Taco. I love Del Taco. They're pretty damn great. Denny's. That's a sit-down restaurant, not really well, I guess it is a restaurant, but it's not a fast food joint. Like with, these others that we've had before. But, let's see. Denny's. Honestly, they're alright. They've been getting a bit downgraded over the, years, honestly. I went there with my mom before, and they're just okay now. Maybe in the past it would be somewhere up higher, but personally they're gonna be in detail. They're fine, you know, they're okay. I honestly can kind of give or take on that now. I don't know too much of what they really have now, but honestly they've just been okay for the past few years. So yeah, Denny's, you're doing okay, but I think you're slowly fading. Domino's. We have this all the time, me and my family. We always have Domino's. Honestly, Domino's, it's pretty good now. I really like that, especially with the pan pizza that they had, or used to have, or whatever. We don't get it too much anymore, because I think it's kind of a bit too pricey. But yeah, the hand pizza was the freaking bomb. Like, I freaking love the pan pizzas. Like, that shit was fire. But honestly, overall, they're just okay. I mean, it's, how can you screw up pizza, you know? But they're fine. You know, they're alright. You know, pretty good. But man, they're pan pizza, man. You know what? Actually, you folks go up here. Yeah, you folks go in C tier. Because you are pretty good, honestly. Not bad. But yeah, Dairy Queen, also known as DQ. Honestly, DQ, you're fine. Personally, I could give or take on DQ because with DQ, you know, they're just okay. The burgers are fine, the fries are fine, the ice cream is, you know, honestly great, because how can you fuck up ice cream? But honestly, it just makes me want to do, Culver's personally, rather than DQ. But yeah, Dairy Queen, it's okay. Could give or take on that. Ipolo Local. These guys are pretty good. I like Ipolo Local. The chicken is always nice and fresh and great. The sides are pretty great too. It's something that I like. I've always pictured it myself as like the southern or Mexican version of KFC, but grilled and stuff. That's my take on it. But yeah, the chicken is always great and addicting, and the sides are great as well. It's overall a pretty nice place. I don't go there too much, honestly, but you know what? They're not bad. Definitely not bad. Firehouse Subs now. These guys are pretty good too. These guys are really good. I went there, I remember the first time I went there, right? And I was like I was like 19 or 20 or whatever or so, right? I went to Firehouse Subs for the first time just to try it out, and they took a big ass minute. They took like 30 minutes before my sub came in. But it's pretty damn good. I really like the meats and stuff and everything. It is a bit pricey, but with the subs though, it's pretty damn good. I really like the sandwiches though, the subs. It's honestly quite nice. I like it. Pretty damn good. I really like Firehouse Subs. So there's something I can always get by and everything. Five Guys. Honestly, they're pretty good too. Good ingredients. My only issue with these guys, these five, if you will, is that they're pretty expensive. I mean, kind of rightfully so, but they're pretty pricey, and I honestly like them, but I don't go there too much, because every time I freaking go there, I spend like $30 on myself. But yeah, overall, they're pretty good. I really like them. It's just the pricing is a bit much, so yeah. IHOP. They're alright. If I'm really craving a pancake, or if I'm really just craving breakfast, I'll go there. That's the only thing I go to IHOP for, honestly. I don't know if it's with anyone else, but for me, that's the only thing I go to IHOP for, is just, is just breakfast. That's it. I've never had the burgers. No, not ever. I keep thinking if I have, but no, I haven't. I've never had the steak there. I've never had the burger. Or do they have pasta? I don't know, but I only go there for pancakes, and they do a good enough job there, so kudos to that, with like the hash browns and scrambled eggs. But yeah, but other than that, I don't really touch IHOP too much, honestly, but that's really the only reason I go there. In-N-Out. Honestly, these guys are pretty good. They're really good, but I do not go there too much because, again, just like with Chick-fil-A, only burgers instead of chicken sandwiches, there's like a freaking line, and like a big-ass line of many folks. There's always like freaking 10 cars ahead of me every time. Well, I don't drive, but like there's always either 10 cars or 10 people in line to get In-N-Out burger. And yeah, the burgers, they're pretty damn good. I always get the double with a side of fries. They're pretty good, honestly, but they're not like the best. There's like a whole freaking cult or some shit of In-N-Out burger. Maybe it's the same thing with Chick-fil-A, whatever, but like there's like a whole culture cult of In-N-Out folks where they will die tooth and nail for the right of In-N-Out. Like, they're like cult members who will sacrifice themselves in the name of the burger, in the name of the double, And don't get me wrong, they're pretty good. The ingredients are pretty fresh. They really are. It's just that I don't go there too much because of how big the line is, packed and everything. And plus with the time and everything. It's not that I don't like In-N-Out. It's just that I would just rather go to McDonald's or something personally. But with overall ingredients and everything, they're pretty good. They're pretty spot on. It's just with the line and everything. And yeah, sure, it's like, oh, just wait a few minutes or whatever, we'll just wait a long time, it's worth the wait. And yeah, maybe it is, but for me personally, I don't want to wait freaking 20-30 minutes for my burger, I just want to get it and go. So yeah, overall, it's not bad, but I feel like it is definitely very much overrated. I don't know if it's because of Gordon Ramsay one time some years ago, well, he tried it and he said it's good, so now we all must think it's good or whatever. But yeah, good food, just way too many freaking people every time I go there. makes me not want to go there. Jack in the Box. I'm not gonna lie to you folks. I'm kind of pleased with Jackie here, honestly. Because, in the past, right, I've never been a huge fan of Jack, or at least till now, but whether I was a kid in the past, or I would look at the marketing of Jack in the Box, it just never pleased me, you know. I could never see myself getting into Jack in the Box. It just never seemed interesting. It seemed to be as low, if not lower, than Burger King. You know, like, I never saw much interest in it, but after trying it recently, I'm gonna give it to them. They're not that bad. You know, they're not the greatest, but they're definitely not the shit show that Burger King is, you know. So, honestly, kudos to you folks. I had a burger there with some fries, curly fries, they were okay. I would prefer Arby's curly fries, but yeah, they're honestly, they're not bad. You know, they're not the best or worst, but they're definitely not the low expectation that I thought of, you know, so yeah. So Jack, you're not so bad. The box that Jack's in is not that bad, honestly. So yeah, Jersey Mike's. Oh yeah, I love Jersey Mike's. I've not had a single issue with these folks. Every time I go there, every time I'm craving a sub, I'm always thinking of this here. They're always super great, you know. They are expensive, but they're one of the places I say it's, you know, worth it. Because for a regular, which is basically half a sub, it's $10. And for the freaking giant, which I always get, or I would get, you know, because it's like, it's really perfect because it's a cold sandwich. And I always get the number 13. I always get the original Italian, and it is chef's kiss, baby. I love Jersey Mike's every time I go there. The freshness, the vibe, the smell, well, maybe not the smell too much, I don't know on the smell, but like every time I go there, it's just, I know I'm not going to be disappointed. I do not think I've ever had a single bad experience whenever I would go to, you know, Jersey Mike's. I'd say they're definitely the S tier in subs, you know, they are always great, and I love them every single time. I can always go there, and I can never be disappointed. Hang on a sec. Put it in. Sorry about that. It's my dog. He sits and growls and whimpers because he wants to be in the, my parents' bedroom. Even though he has his own bed downstairs, but I'm not gonna have him sit and bark and interrupt this video, whatever. But yeah, anyway, I'm back on track. Jersey Mike's, I fucking love them. They are the S tiers. They are the elites in sub sandwiches. If you ever craving a sub, or if you haven't had them before, I extremely highly recommend them. They are great. You know, they are the ace tiers in them. So yeah, I really like them. Jimmy John's. They're pretty damn good. I really like Jimmy John's as well. They're pretty damn great. I haven't had them in a good while, but they're pretty damn good. I really like them. They are, you know, great with the sandwiches. I always get the, what was it? The number 8 or I think it's the number 9, the Italian. I'm always getting Italian sandwiches, folks. It's like, I'm too addicted to those subs, but yeah. Jimmy John's, not bad. Not bad at all, honestly. I really like them. They are pretty damn good. I really like them. Joby, I don't think I've ever had you before. KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, the original Colonel. Honestly, probably in the same tier as most of these guys, honestly. Not bad, but I can always just do, Popeyes. I can always do another chicken than just KFC, personally, though. It's not bad, but there's just other options now. Little Caesars, yeah. Honestly, these guys are pretty good. I personally like them. I know there's been, bad experiences in the past with folks, but honestly, for something that I just want quick and efficient, and I just want a damn pizza, these guys are probably the best bet with it. I've only had, I think I've had, 2 bad experiences. One time, I can't remember or recall exactly. I think it was a misorder or whatever. But there was this other time, what actually happened recently, sometime last year. No, it was, it could have been the Super Bowl. It was, it was sometime last year during a football game or whatever. My dad, he, because he's a huge fan of football, side note, whatever, but my dad, he is a huge-ass fan of football. He freaking loves football. He loves the New York Giants. And anyway, since I think the Giants were going to be playing against the Cowboys, which he freaking hates, we can debate on football teams or some shit, NFTs, whatever, National Football League. But anyway, NFL. But yeah, anyway, so he ordered a pizza, a big pizza for, the whole family to have or whatever, or 2 pizzas or whatever. So he picks them up, after getting off work, and as we open the box, the pizza was really undercooked. And as, we tasted it or, kind of poked at it, it was like, yeah, this is undercooked. So he took it back, and keep in mind, this Little Caesars, it's literally within walking distance. It is legit, a 30-minute drive, not 30-minute, a 30-second drive. It is, it's right freaking there, literally. Could walk there if I wanted to. But yeah, so he drove back over there when they gave him a hard time or whatever, for some odd reason. And he's all, just throw it in the oven for 5 extra minutes or whatever. I mean, I don't really care, but just have it be fully cooked, please. And they kind of gave him a weird issue on that or whatever. But that's the one bad experience that we've had. Because overall, I like them a lot, honestly. I like their Crazy Puffs. They're pretty damn good. And for something with a little craving, honestly, I really like them. So, there could be a mixed bag, honestly, but through my personal experience I've had, I personally like them. They're not bad. And it's super convenient since they're just right there. But yeah, for something quick and easy, they're not bad, honestly. But that's just my opinion and view. Long John Silver's. I have never had them, but I'm pretty sure if I did have them, I'm gonna get instant cancer, personally, or Alzheimer's or whatever, I've never really been there, so I've never even tried them before, so I'm gonna have them. I never had, honestly. But for the reputation that I've seen them online and over the years, these guys, I guarantee you, if I actually had them, these guys would be lower than even Burger King, honestly. Plus, I'm not a big seafood guy. I've never been a huge fan of seafood, honestly, and I just never had them, but I'm pretty sure if I did, I would freaking die of cancer from them. I don't know. McDonald's, or as me and my family call it, Mickey D's. Ba-ba-ba. Honestly, these guys are pretty... I know they're not the healthiest or whatever, but they're pretty good, honestly. I say that as in both convenient and, moderate food taste, honestly. They're not the best, but they are the most convenient, honestly. I've had one bad experience from McDonald's too, and it was when I got a quarter pounder and the bottom bun was all soggy and shit. And after I asked for another, you know, a replacement politely and everything, I got, you know, another quarter pounder, you know, because I don't want a freaking soggy bottom bun. Like, I'm not gonna eat that shit. That's McDonald's food is kind of, honestly, gross enough as it is, but when I got a second bun and it was kind of soggy as well, I've only noticed till, like, I've had half my quarter pounder. And then after that, I was like, alright, you know what, I'm done, you know. But yeah, the chicken nuggets are very nostalgic to me. I know McDonald's is not the healthiest. None of these damn places are, but, like, you know, honestly, you know, if I'm craving a burger and some nuggets and fries, I'm gonna go to Mickey D's, okay? They're freaking everywhere. They're like the real-life Krusty Krab from SpongeBob, you know? Like, they're freaking everywhere, you know? So, yeah, honestly, they're not bad. Not the greatest, honestly, but you know what? I can always be down for those folks. Every time. Moe's or whatever. What are you? Moe's Southwest Grill. I've never had you folks before, honestly. So you're gonna go there. Noodle Company. Okay. I like these guys. These guys are pretty good. We only have like one in at least from where I am. There's like one location, and they're pretty good, honestly. I really like them. I haven't had all their pasta personally, but you know, if I'm craving a pasta and that's fast, these guys are pretty damn good. They're one of the few real fast food pasta places that I actually know of and I actually can get down to go into. But yeah, these guys, they're pretty good. I like them, honestly. Panda Express, Panda Express. I personally could give or take on these guys, honestly. The only thing I go there for is the orange chicken. You know, and the teriyaki chicken. The food's pretty good. You know, it's really good. I just don't go there too much, but yeah, Panda Express, they're alright. You know, they're pretty good and everything. Like I said, the only thing I go there for is the orange chicken, and if it wasn't for that orange chicken, I probably just would never really touch Panda Express personally. I mean, I don't touch it too much because I'm not the biggest fan of Chinese food. But, you know, at least it's tasty, you know, at least it's good. But it's not something I ever really go out of my way to crave. But, yeah. Panera brand or bread, whatever. I do not think I don't know if I ever had these guys. I've had Olive Garden, which I think is similar to these guys, but I've never been there before, so we're gonna leave it at that. Papa John. So much for better ingredients and better pizza. Honestly, these guys they're fine, but with my latest experience with them, it was just sad. Like the pizzas, like I've had a pizza though, but last time I had a pizza, it was more of a cracker with stuff on top than an actual pizza. And plus, personally, I've never really been the hugest fan of Papa John's. And maybe it's just location, but personally, I could really give or take on Papa John's, you know. They may have better ingredients for a better pizza, but they're not better ingredients for me, you know. So, I hate to say it to you, Papa John, but you're going to be in the D too. And now we got PDQ, some chicken place I've never heard of, I do not know. You're going to go here. Pan Station, I do not know, I do not hear ya, I've never heard of ya. You all gonna go in the never had. Let's see. Pizza Hut, where the pizza gets, out of the hut or whatever. Honestly, these guys are okay. they're fine. I do like now that they have personal pan sized pizzas and stuff, but overall they're just okay. You know, I could really give or take on them, honestly. I mean, it's kind of hard to screw up pizza, but I would rather have Pizza Hut than Papa John's personally. But they do fall into the kind of the same category personally, honestly. So I could really give or take on Pizza Hut personally. Popeyes. I like Popeyes. Popeyes is pretty damn good. You know, Popeyes is pretty grand. I like the chicken. Oh, that reminds me now. I find this funny. I don't know if it was just me who noticed this the first time or if it was always like this, but I remembered one time, right? So I was at the social group, right? The social skills group, you know, because special needs and all that shit. So anyway, so the person that was going to take me somewhere, you know, to get, you know, dinner, because that's what we would kind of do. We would kind of go our own separate ways and get whatever food we want, you know, and kind of go from there. Instead of in the past where we would always just do McDonald's and we would get a big-ass order and divide it up by who got what or whatever. So instead, this time around, you know, it would be like, okay, whatever you folks want to choose with the person that you have, you know, that's close by, we can go with that. Anyway, trimming down the story here, I was looking through my phone, and I downloaded the Popeyes app, and I just wanted to look over to see, you know, I wanted to figure out my order before I ordered, you know, I wanted to, you know, get a feel of what they, obviously I know what they have, but I wanted to really break down what I wanted so that when we do get there, I can get my order and go from there instead of being in the, like Patrick from that one episode of SpongeBob. Anyway, so I've noticed that in many of these items, there would be like warning labels of like, too much of these can be heart disease or some crap, or too much sodium or whatever. And it's like, no shit, Sherlock. It's fried chicken. But yeah, the fries are great. I really like the fries. The chicken is amazing. I've never had the chicken sandwich, but you know, I can always be down to these guys. You know what, actually, I'm going to move you folks up here, because you guys, they're pretty damn good. I really like, Popeyes. The mac and cheese is really damn good, too. Yeah, I know, my diet is complete utter garbage, but you know what? These guys, they're pretty good. I like the vibe, I like the chicken, I like the fries. These guys are pretty damn good. I can get down with Popeyes anytime. The Louisiana Kitchen, baby. Partolitos or whatever. I've never had you folks. Same with Potbelly. Well, maybe once. I think I've had Potbelly like once. Or is that Cracker Barrel? I don't know. Anyway, it's too long for me to remember. The memory's too staticky and burning memory for me to even recall on that personally. So we're gonna move you there. Q-Dub or whatever the hell. I've never had you folks. You're gonna go there. Cuisinos. I've never had you folks. But now I'm thinking of that god-awful commercial that you folks had when... And that was kind of the thing, too, I guess, with these folks, is that they would actually toast their subs or whatever. But now I'm thinking of that god-awful commercial with those stupid rat mice fiends, whatever, with the big-ass eyes and the guitar and stuff. Well, thank you, folks. Now my own PTSD, my own trauma of first looking at that, and I'm like, what the freaking hell? Oh, God, it was horrible. So, yeah, but since I've never had you folks, I'm going to have them at Never Had, because I've never actually had them. Roy Rangers, never had you folks. Sabaro. Honestly, this is depressing. Because every time I go there, I think it's going to be not the best, but I think it's going to be decent. It's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. But yet, I go there, and I just get underwhelmed. Maybe it's the nostalgia tricking thing or whatever, but every time I go to Sabaro, personally, and yeah, I guess the only good thing you could say is the pizza, but there's many other pizza places. There's many other pizzerias that you folks can go to that are honestly just better. I get the spaghetti, and the spaghetti is like school cafeteria spaghetti. It's what I would picture the mixed spaghetti. When McDonald's tried the spaghetti, whatever, that's what I'd always picture it being like the school cafeteria. The sauce is more of like a water sauce than an actual pasta sauce. The noodles are just, fine. The pizzas itself, they're just okay. But overall, it's just not that great. It's really not. And plus, it just makes me depressed every time I go there, because I keep thinking it's going to be great or something. Not great, but every time I go to Sabaro, I think it's going to be, interesting, decent, and yet I'm still disappointed. But yeah, they're really not that great. And I always just get, and it's not just like sadness with these guys, it's just that with the actual taste, it's just not that great. It's depressing, personally. But yeah, Sabaro, you're gonna go an F. Let's see. Sholizi or whatever, however you say that. I've never had you folks. Shake Shack, I've never had you folks either. Sheets, I've never had you folks. Excuse me. Shoot, however I cannot read cursive, but I've never had you folks either. Sonic. Honestly, these guys are pretty good. They're not good, they're decent. I don't go there too much personally, because I don't see a reason, but they're not bad. They're pretty alright. I've had their smash burger or whatever, and it was pretty good. I sort of like them because of their variety options, but they're okay, honestly. Maybe if they had, and I know some of them, they have like an they actually have a more small interior that you can walk in, but 95% of them are just outside, and honestly, they're okay. Food-wise, I could give or take on them personally, but yeah, they're decent at best, I haven't had an ice cream from them from like freaking in like ever. One of my brothers one time, he got us some ice cream, and we were really aiming for Arctic Circle because it's nearby, and he got us Sonic instead, and it was pretty good, honestly. But yeah, Steak and Shake, I don't think I've ever had you folks before, honestly, or at least I don't recall ever doing Steak and Shake. I don't think I've even been to one. Maybe I have at some point when I was little, but I really don't know. It does not recall for me. Subway. You folks are gonna go with Burger King and Sabaro. I just can't do Subway anymore. The last time I went there, I got a Philly cheesesteak, and it wasn't bad, but it was just, I just didn't even finish it. Again, it's not bad, but it's just wasn't enjoyable, The only thing I would go there for is their foot-long cookie, but even then, I can just make one easily enough. But yeah, Subway, unlike the other sub places that we've looked at before, like Jersey Mike's, Firehouse Subs, and Jimmy John's, Subway is the black sheep of the subs place, personally. I mean, I do have one by my work, and I would walk there from time to time, and they are pretty nice and everything, but just the overall food quality there, it's not that great, and it's not so much the pricing to me, it's just more so that every time I think of Subway, I just want to do Jersey Mike's or Jimmy John's. Every time I go there, the food could be significantly better. Yeah, I know they had like a big reputation of like, not like a huge reputation. I did notice they had like a small climb back up where things were, starting to look positive and everything. And maybe that's true in other Subway locations, but just for me personally, I just can't do them again. I can't do them anymore. Every time I go there, I just think of other sub places, and I know they're better because I can actually taste it, but whatever, with the controversy or whatever, I just can't do Subway, man. I personally can't. I've never had Sweden's before. Taco Bell, honestly, they're not that bad. They're really not. I've had them recently in the past before, and they're not that bad. I've had like a few bad experiences with them before. There was this one time where me and my family, we went to the movies, and then after that we zipped by a Taco Bell close by our house. We would get the 12-pack box, because that seemed kind of perfect for us or whatever. And they were legit the saddest ass tacos that we've ever had. They barely had any cheese or, lettuce or whatever. Not that I would really have them anyway from a fast food place. God forbid, Taco Bell. But like, each taco had like little meat. It was mostly shell. Some of them were even like stale or whatever. That was like the worst experience by far. But honestly, recently, they're not that bad. They're really not now. I love their nacho fries. The nacho flavored fries with the nacho cheese dipping sauce. That's pretty good. I really like them. And they've had pretty much a turnaround. They're not as gold guy tier to me as Del Taco, but they're not that bad, honestly. They're really not. So yeah, Taco Bell, pretty good, honestly. Definitely not anywhere near the healthiest, but they're not the shit show that others may make you think of or whatever. Taco Cabana or whatever, never had. Tortillas tacos or whatever, I've never had. Waffle House, thank God I've never had you folks. I've never had them. I always wanted to try them, but after recent years and reputation of them having, I don't know, like a night fight every single time at night or whatever, it's kind of diminished my idea of going there. I don't even think there's even many locations anymore. But yeah, it always seems like a place that I would personally go to because I freaking love waffles. I love waffles as much as Rocky from Lackadaisy loves his pancakes, I freaking love waffles. So yeah, but since I never had it, sadly, I'm gonna have it at never had. Same with Wawa. I've heard these guys are pretty damn good. It's more like a big gas station place than an actual food. And I guess it's only in the eastern side of it. And I've heard these guys are pretty damn good, but I've never even had them. I've never been to the east side of the US, so you're gonna be over there. Wendy's. You guys are pretty good. Yeah, you guys are pretty damn good. I really like Wendy's. I think I've had like a few bad experiences from them. Like I've always had like a bad experience with every fast food place, but Every time I go to Wendy's, or anytime I think of a good burger, I'm always gonna choose Wendy's. You know, Wendy's, like, they've had some disappointments here and there in the past, but honestly, they're not that bad. You know, they're probably some of the best burgers. You know, I really like Wendy's. You know, I like the chicken sandwiches. Excuse me. I like the fries. I love the Frosties. I love the chicken nuggets. I really like Wendy's. Wendy's, honestly, they have a special place. They're pretty damn good. I can always get down to Wendy's, but yeah. Wendy's, pretty damn good. I love them a lot. Whataburger, I've never had you folks. White Castle, I've never had them either. Wiener's, or the wiener place. Honestly, they're fine. The few times I've had them, they're just okay, personally. You know, but that's really it. I've only been there, like, oh man, like 4 times my whole life, and I went there one time with my ex, and you know, they're pretty alright. I could really give or take on them personally, because I can always just make a hot dog at home. You know, that's really what I kind of do, honestly. You know, those wiener packs or whatever, throw it in the microwave for 30 seconds, and throw it on a hot dog bun, and boom. You know, there you go. There's your hot dog. So I don't really have a reason to really go there. They're not that bad, but then again, there's A&W with their own hot dogs and stuff as well. Wings, I've never had them before. So you're going to go into never had. Alright, Wingstop. You guys are pretty damn good. I really like Wingstop. They're definitely much better than Buffalo Wild Wings. I've had them a few times, and I really like them. Anytime I want not just chicken, but also like more spicy chicken, anytime I go to Wingstop, they're pretty damn good. I really like Wingstop. I plan on, I don't know if this is ever going to happen or not, but like, actually, speaking of Wingstop, if I ever reach 5,000 subscribers, you know, at some point or whatever, and this may still change at some point, but if I ever get to 5,000 subscribers, I'm going to get their hottest sauce and film myself eating it. Because I'm a huge fan of hot stuff, honestly, you know, when I feel like it. But yeah, I love their fries at Wingstop. Their fries are amazing. I don't know what it is with that seasoning, but my God, it is great. It is grand with them, personally. So yeah, Wingstop, pretty damn good. I really like Wingstop. I love their chicken. I freaking love their fries. It is a great place to be. I love Wingstop. And now finally, we got Zabas, or Zumbas, or whatever. I have not had you folks, so I think, well, no, maybe once at some point, but I can't recall. It was too long ago. So yeah, so there you have it, folks. We are finally done with this tier list. It took me over an hour to do, but we have done it, folks. That is my my whole tier list. And I know I could have done like a short to quickly speed it up or whatever, but, you know, this is something I figured to go ahead and do, you know, because I figured, why not, you know? It's something different. It's something that we could give it a shot at. So yeah, so that's my tier list, folks, from the best to never had. So yeah, so honestly, as you folks can see, the best is Del Taco, Jersey Mike's, Popeyes, Wendy's, and Wingstop, or the A tier per se. And then in the B tier, we got Epolo Loco, Firehouse Subs, Jimmy John's, Little Caesars, McDonald's, Noodles, and Taco Bell. In the C, We got Rising Cane's, Chipotle, Domino's, Five Guys, In-N-Out, Jack in Box, and Panda Express. And in detail, which is the most surprisingly, but I'm going to be honest here with these, but in the detail, we got A&W, Arby's, Carl's Jr., Chick-fil-A, Culver's, Denny's, DQ, IHOP, KFC, Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Sonic, and I can never say them, but I always call it the Wiener Place. The place where you can have some dicks or whatever. And then in the F tier, we have Burger King, Sbarro, and Subway. And finally, and never had, we have the rest. But yeah, that's basically my throat's aching now because I've been yapping for a full hour. But yeah, that's basically my overall whole tier list and everything. So yeah, nothing too much with this video, but I figured, to add a little bit of something here. I do plan on doing these in the future if you folks are curious or whatever, but I plan on doing these in the future at some point. There's like My Little Pony one. There's a caretaker one, of course. There's a bunch of other fast food places or, music or whatever. There's a bunch of shit here and stuff, with all of this stuff, with all these different tier rankings and everything. But yeah, that's my overall fast food ranked from bottom to top. If you folks are curious to check this out for yourself, or if you just want to give your own ranking or whatever personally, the link to this will be in the description below, along with the song that I've been playing for this whole entire time, and that's been looping over and over again for an hour. I'll have the link down to that song as well, so if you folks are curious on what has been playing this whole damn time, the link to that will be in the description below as well, along with my own music as well. I have my own dementia music projects that I have currently in the works. I currently got stage 2 done, and now I'm on my way to stage 3, which is basically halfway done by now. But yeah, if you folks are curious to check out my music, just by any spare chance, if you folks are just interested by chance by that or whatever, the link to that will be in the description below as well. But as of now, folks, I'm gonna end this video because holy crap, my throat. My throat is dry now and I need some water. And thank you folks all so much for watching. Be sure to hit the bell icon so you folks don't miss out on a future video or post that I make in the future, and that you can always be kept up to date with the channel and everything. And lastly, if you folks have any requests or suggestions that you want me to go ahead and do, feel more than free to tell me down in the comments below. But anyway, folks, that's basically it as of now. I'm gonna get myself some water and drink a lot of it and shut up for my voice. So anyway, thank you folks all so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, hit subscribe for more, and I will see you all sooner or later. Bye bye everyone.